Look, flying in economy class doesn't have to suck. Having an economy class ticket doesn't even mean that you actually have to fly in economy class. But if you don't know what to do to make economy class not suck, then the chances are pretty high that it's going to. I mean, I've flown thousands of flights to places all around the world, and the majority of those flights have been in economy class. And I've definitely learned how to enhance my flight experience along the way. But no matter how cheap my ticket was, there's always been a way to upgrade even the worst of worst coach seats. So in this video, we'll be looking at a bunch of different airplane hacks that I've used to upgrade my economy flying experience over and over again. And the first way to upgrade your economy flying experience is to literally get an upgrade to business or even first class. But I'm going to be brutally honest here. There are a fair amount of people out there that talk about free upgrades, but I haven't seen a single one of them tell the whole truth about free upgrades. So I'm going to lay it out for you. Just asking for a free upgrade will yield results. But the chances are those results are not going to be you getting a free upgrade. They'd more likely consist of airline staff looking at you like you're out of your mind. Just walking up to the check-in or the gate counter and asking for a free upgrade is a terrible strategy to try to get a free upgrade. But stay with me, there's a much better question that you could ask that could actually lead to an upgrade. I mean, after all those flights in economy class, I have received a free upgrade a few times, and I don't mean that I got upgraded because of my airline status either. I'm talking about where I got to sit in a premium class without paying for it or even asking for it. Most recently, I was boarding a TAP Air Portugal flight, and as I presented my ticket for boarding, the gate agent stopped me and asked if I wanted a free upgrade to business class. So I gladly accepted and asked why I was offered the free upgrade. The reason I got was that I'm a frequent customer of TAP and sometimes they just upgrade you. I hadn't flown TAP for at least a year at that time, and although I had held TAP status in the past, I didn't then. So the info I got from the gate agent probably wasn't quite right. For that flight, the economy class was entirely full, and there had been a last-minute aircraft change to an aircraft that had a few less seats in economy class. So it could have been that my seat just no longer existed on that new aircraft, and they had no choice but to bump me up to business class. You can't exactly plan for this kind of thing, but there is a way to make it more likely to happen. And if your flight is overbooked, then it's a lot more likely to happen. Some airlines will notify you ahead of time of an overbooked flight, but usually you won't know until you're at the gate. In case the flight does turn out to be overbooked in economy, then it never hurts to let the gate agent know that you'd be happy to help the airline out by taking an upgrade to a higher class. But at the same time, if you're not on a tight schedule, overbooking can mean that you get payment from the airline to take a later flight. If it means a longer wait, there could be a nice hotel stay thrown in the mix too. And sometimes if you ask the right person and the stars align, you might be able to get on that next flight and sit in business or first class. If you don't even know the flight is overbooked though, someone else might be the one to get that later flight in business class plus $5,000 in flight credit. But there's another cool way to get upgraded to business or first, and it's got a much higher success rate in my experience. Say you're US based and you're flying on Delta, American, or United. All three of these airlines offer free upgrades to customers that hold status when there's space. And airline status really isn't so hard to get. You can get it by flying, but you can also get it by spending money on a credit card. My main route to status has always been by flying. If you're not so familiar with airline status, basically by flying a certain amount of miles, you can earn different status tiers with an airline. But the exact details really differ a lot from airline program to airline program, and we're not going to go over every single one of them here. If there's interest, I'm happy to make another video all about airline status, so let me know in the comments. And another way to massively upgrade your flying experience has to do with the time that you spend in the airport before your flight. You can spend your time out waiting in the hectic airport and paying way too much for a bad meal. But you could just as easily head over to an airport lounge. Now, if you have a business or first class ticket, that mostly means that you'll have lounge access already included in your ticket. A few airlines like Emirates and Qatar have started selling unbundled business class fares that don't include lounge access, and that just sounds like another airline move to make extra money, to be honest. But it really doesn't matter, because regardless of the class you're flying in or what your ticket says, you can get lounge access. It doesn't even matter what airline you're flying or how terrible your middle seat is. And I mean, while having a nice lie flat seat is great, I view lounge access as essential to the premium flying experience. So getting lounge access without paying business or first class prices is a pretty serious upgrade. Now, holding airline status like what we were just talking about is one great way to get into lounges. But if you don't hold status and don't think you will anytime soon, then check out Priority Pass. Basically, Priority Pass is a membership program that gets you access to lounges all over the world, no matter what airline you're flying on or class you're seated in. One great way to get Priority Pass is with a credit card, and I dropped a link in the video description of my current favorite card that comes with Priority Pass. But it's not just the free food in the lounge that you should be thinking about when it comes to eating. If you're in economy on a flight with meal service, things can get a little hectic when it's time to dine. But there are two easy ways to upgrade your experience. First off, after every economy meal on an airplane, there will be a very long line of people waiting to use the bathroom. This means that if you want to use the bathroom too, you'll have to wait in that long line. And once you actually get to the bathroom, I can almost guarantee you that it ain't gonna be pretty. The fix? Just plan to use the bathroom before mealtime rather than after. And if you did happen to score that upgrade to business class, this might be less of an issue. But even then, some smaller aircraft may only have one bathroom for the entire business class, so go before, not after. It can also be a really good idea to pre-order your meal. Pre-ordering your meal is really the only way to ensure that you'll get something suitable to eat. Otherwise, by the time the meal cart gets to you, the chicken may have run out, and that pasta and mystery sauce may stare you down all the way to that dirty, dirty toilet. The details on pre-booking your meal do vary quite a lot from airline to airline, so just make sure to research how it works for the airline you'll be flying. But beyond terrible toilets, another thing that can instantly downgrade your flying experience is a completely full flight. Peak travel times and holidays will usually mean fuller flights, though you may also see airlines add some extra flights to deal with the increased passenger loads. I was flying Japan Airlines on a domestic flight in Japan last year during Golden Week. If you're not familiar, that's basically the busiest time of the year for travel in Japan. But Japan Airlines did a good job planning ahead and added a bunch of extra flights for the holiday. Plus, on many routes, those extra flights were on wide-body aircraft that have a lot more seats. So I boarded a 767 to Tokyo and was kind of surprised to find that it was about 80% empty. But with the exception of low-cost carriers, the cheaper economy prices usually correlate with less full flights. So basically, unless you're on a really tight schedule, booking the cheapest economy fare can actually mean a more comfortable flight. I mean, it's really a great feeling when you hear that boarding complete announcement and the middle seat next to you is still free. And since we're talking about seats, there is pretty much always a way to upgrade your flying experience by just thinking about which seats you'll want to sit in before your flight. Depending on the airline you're flying on and the type of economy ticket you've booked, you might or might not be able to select a seat for free before check-in. And booking more restrictive fares can mean that you're automatically assigned a seat at check-in and you can't change it without paying an additional fee. Surely you'd expect something like this from low-cost carriers like Ryanair or Spirit. But these days, airlines you'd think would be classier, for example Lufthansa, now won't even let you change your seat for free after checking in on the lowest economy fares. There are some easy ways around this though. First off, you can try chatting or calling into your airline to request a different seat. This is most likely to work when you have a good reason that you need a different seat. I have found that agents are usually willing to help you out there. But obviously you do want to be as pleasant as possible when asking for anything. The other option is to just walk up to the gate or check-in counter and ask if the agent can help you out. 9 times out of 10, when the flight is not full, this has worked for me. Plus, if you're already at the counter asking about upgrades and just can't get one, then this is a great plan B to at least have a nice economy seat. And then if you happen to have been separated from your travel partner or family, you can usually ask to be reseated together. In the US, they're even working on making it your right to sit with your family no matter which tickets you booked. Oh yeah, and before actually asking an agent to change your seats, it's best to look up which open seats you'd actually want to change to. Then you know exactly what to ask for, and the busy airline staff will always appreciate it when you save them extra work by doing it yourself. Seriously, do whatever you can to help out airline staff, especially if you want something from them. That is not an easy job they have. So while there's a good chance that your economy ticket will mean that you're going to get an economy seat, not all economy seats were created equal. And with that in mind, I made another video to show you exactly which seats are the best and the worst in economy class. So give that a watch next, make sure you're subscribed, and I'll see you all real soon. Thank you so much for watching.